Hello friends, welcome to another video from trainingrank.com. Today we'll be talking about how to prepare ourselves and acquire the right skills or sharpen our skills for the jobs in the software industry. Now, to find a job in the software testing area, or for that matter, as a software developer, it's not a walk in the park, but it's not a mystery either. So what basically we should be doing in order for us to better our skills? Well, there are some basic steps you have to follow. To talk about what we should be doing, I would suggest that number one is you get motivated. Now, I would say, all right, so you would say, all right, I am all motivated. I am all ready to go. What's the next step? Well, then I would say that if you're motivated enough, then go ahead and then acquire those required skills. Now, what are those required skills, you may question? It depends as what is your area of interest. So I would say identify your area of interest. Now, area of interest is basically very diversified in the sense that there are many areas where you could go in software industry. You could become, let's say, a software tester. You could become a developer. You could become a graphic designer. So basically, you have to do some research is required. So I would say we have to do some research, right? Research required. Okay. After you have identified your area of interest, then basically what you would do is, I would say, find a good resource. Now, finding a good resource is what? It's either you could have some training company who could help you, or you could have a mentor who could guide you. So basically, you need somebody to take your hand, walk you through, and then show you the steps, or at least guide you in the beginning. Now, once you identified that source, next thing is, okay, make sure that you learn with interest. You have to put in all the efforts as you possibly can. So put in your efforts, and this is serious business we are talking about. So basically, you have to focus. You have to focus. You have to put in your efforts, focusing on what you are learning. While you focus on what you're learning, you are basically building some confidence. So this is extremely important to do, because unless you have confidence in yourself, you cannot be becoming better in whatever you're learning. So seriously, this is the process which you have to keep doing, which is putting the effort, putting serious effort. Now, it's easy said than done. So you basically need somebody who could help you with that. Now, there are companies out there, software companies who would, training companies who would do that. And every company has their own way of imparting education. Likewise, we at trainingrack.com also provide some training. So if you look into the different trainings which we provide, we have something which you should be choosing based on what suits you. So if your interest is in the QA automated tools, if you want to become a QA engineer, software engineer, then you should be looking into this area. QA automated tools, you should be looking at HP's Quality Center, you should be doing QTP, Quick Test Professional, or the open source automated tool called Selenium. Of course, there is a prerequisite for this. What is the prerequisite for that? You have to know a little bit of the concepts of testing. So that concepts of testing is what we teach in what is called your manual testing program. So we have a program where we talk about how to make you a manual tester. Now, you might be questioning what is a manual tester. Now, the short answer to that is when we build anything, let that be airplane, let that be a ship, let that be your car. As these things are manufactured, you go and then you test them. So what do you test? If it is an airplane, I guess you need to look into everything, whatever needs to function before it could take its first flight. Likewise is the case with a ship which you might be getting on to go for your cruise, or your car which you would be using every day. All right, and you have heard stories about, not to put down any particular company, but Toyota had their share of problems with their cars. They were accelerating automatically, and that resulted in a loss of sales for them. That resulted in many lawsuits and unfortunate death of people. So, it is a very critical piece of any business that when you have a product, you test them. Now, in your case, what are you testing? You're basically testing software, right? So you are testing software. So now the question is, what is software and what you could be testing? Now, without getting into the details, on a layman's level, I would say that we use websites, right? You go to ebay.com, you go to priceline.com, travelocity.com, any company you take. So there are some websites, right? Those websites has got different functionalities, right? You could, when you log into the website, you could do what? You could search. Now, search for what? Depending on what the website is. So it does not matter what the business of the website is, whether it is a retail sales, or whether it is a pharmaceutical business, or whether it is financial. So the domain, this is your domain. So the domain is not of big significance. The idea here is to learn what are the things which you should be doing. So basically you would be testing for what is called functionality. Now, what is functionality testing? Functionality testing is to make sure that what they have built, it works correctly. Now, if you have a car, what is the functionality testing of the car? Number one, it when you turn the ignition switch, it has to start. The next thing is when you put into the gear drive, it should drive forward or drive backwards. When you apply the brakes, it should stop. So these are the basic functionalities of testing a car. Now we could get into the details of if you turn on the heat, is it turning on the heat? If you turn on the air conditioning, is it getting cool or is it getting warm? When you turn on the air conditioning, if it gets warm, then what you find there is a defect. So when you test, that test would either pass or fail. If a test fails, that is a defect in that product. So if there is a defect in a product, you have to fix that. So how do you fix? You have to report it back. So basically what you have to do is you as a manual tester, you would be doing a functionality test. Your test would eventually result in either a pass or a fail. And if it is a fail, then it is identified as a defect. And that defect needs to be reported and needs to be fixed and then needs to be tested again, right? So now how do you do all of these things? Are there any tools which you need to use? That's basically what we will talk about in our course. Now, when it comes to manual testing, again, there are things which you need to know. There is something called a software development life cycle. So when a software is being built, any software application it is, right? It goes through stages, right? Now, so you have to know what is this stage, what is that stage, that, and that, right? And where do you, right, fit in, right? So unless you identify, unless you know all of these stages, what are these stages, and you as a software tester, where do you have to know everything, right? Or do you know only certain things in here? So there are things which you need to know in terms of tools. All right. So you would be learning certain tools. Now, even for a manual tester, there are certain tools which you need to know. So we will be teaching you those tools. When you perform a test, now we're going to be talking about how you can perform a test. On what would you perform a test? Where are you going to report your findings, right? So all of these things we're going to be talking about. How you're going to be performing a test? Well, for that you need certain information. That information would be given to you by your project lead or a manager, and that is called a business requirement document, right? In our course, we're going to go over the details of what is a BRD and how do you read, right, and understand this document, right? So unless you have a proper understanding of the document, you cannot do the next thing. And the next thing is you have to basically perform testing, right? So the question is on what? So the details are again in this document. So the what part is basically about the application details. Remember I talked about the functionality. So there could be lots of things which you could be doing in there. You could be testing on the search or on the login functionality or on there could be like placing an order, right? There could be 100 different things you could be searching on. So when you, or rather, working on. So when you are testing the functionality, the most important thing is you need to have some instructions, right? Those instructions are given to you in the form of what is called a test plan, right? So again, in our course, we're going to talk about what is a test plan. So a test plan will have in it uh, test steps which you would take. Then there will be test data which you would test on, right? So we will go over the details of the test plan. We'll go over the details of the test steps which you have to perform. We go over the details of the test data, what kind of data you would be entering in. Let's say, for instance, you're doing a test on the search functionality. Now, the question is how you are going to do it. Okay, that information you will get through the BRD document. Okay, so the BRD will be given to you. So you are this guy. So you are a tester. So you will be given this information from either your team lead or your project manager. So they will get this information to you, and you will read the document. We will make sure that you know as how to read this document. We'll make sure as how you can understand the document. Once you read and understand the document, then you will be performing the testing. So now the question is, what are you testing on? So you will be testing on some particular functionality, like a search, login, order entry, or what, right? Now, when you do that, where are you going to find the instructions to test that? That again is there in what is called another document which provides you the details of the test plan. And your test plan would involve some steps. The steps are, okay, you will be, first of all, going to a website. So when you go to a website, so the instructions in there is you are testing ebay.com. And what are you testing in ebay.com? The search functionality, right? So in the test steps, you would be navigate, right, or go to this URL, which is ebay.com. And the next step is find and click on search button, right? C, enter search criteria. Now, what is search criteria? What are you searching for? Probably you are searching for something which is, let's say, Disney tickets, right? So you're going to be entering Disney tickets in there. And when you hit enter, you will have, so many results popping up, right? So you have, okay, this is in Orlando, and this is in California, right? Again, Orlando, and you want to basically go to Orlando. So you're not interested in the California. So the search criteria which you enter in there, which is the Disney tickets, this information which you are sending, you are not making it up. This is coming from that test data, right, which will be given to you. So we will be entering the test data in there, and then we will be checking for the output. And let's say if you don't find any output at all, right, then there will be in that document, there will be like expected results. What are you supposed to see? And if it doesn't match to the expected results, then basically it is considered as a defect. Now, all these details will be covered in our course. So we'll be talking about how to look for expected results and what is not like 100% match in terms of. Now, to give you a very lame example, a car, you're driving a car. If you're testing the brake functionality, so what is the expected result? The expected result is when you push the brake, the expected result it is supposed to stop. If it does not stop, then it is not working. The functionality is not working, right? Now, the possible results could be, well, it is stopping, but it is not stopping the way it is supposed to stop. I mean, usually when you apply brakes, it stops within what? Depending on the speed, it stops like within, I would say, a few meters or a few yards, right? Now, if you're doing like 70 miles, and then if you push your brakes, and if it takes like half a mile to stop it, then it is stopping it, but that's not the expected result. So likewise, when we test, if it is showing you the expected results, let's say where Orlando, and it is showing you California, then it is not the expected result. Now you might say, hey, I just entered Disney tickets. Yeah, now we are talking, because the test data should have said Disney tickets in Orlando. So you have to follow that document where it says what is the test data. Okay, so you enter that, and then you found some results. So you are going to report about those results. So now you're talking about using some tool to report your findings. So there are many tools in the industry. One of the tool which is extremely popular, and a lot of companies they use that, is the HP's Quality Center, and this is it acts more like a repository. It holds, what is a repository? It holds, right? It holds what? It holds your test documents. And those test documents could be your test plans, your test data, and your test findings in the form of reports. So those reports, basically, if you made something as a defect, right, or as a bug, that needs to be sent back to the team who created this functionality. So basically, those will be the developers. So the developers is going to read your report, and they're gonna either fight it, debate that, oh no, you are wrong, my code is all right, it's working fine, I am almost God, so I cannot create anything wrong, so it has to be like you're not able to find. So again, I'm not saying that they are right or wrong. So it all depends on whether your findings, whether are you knowledgeable enough that when you find something, that it is a bug or it is a defect. Probably it is not, because you might have entered wrong data. So when you are entering the test data, rather than putting Orlando, you might have put, who knows, Mumbai or London, and you're expecting that Disney to come up, and then it's not going to come up. So it is our, as a tester's fault, right? So we have to look into those things, right? So anyway, so when let's say the defect is legit, defect, and then you hand it over to your developers. They're going to read your report, and then hopefully they will fix that. So when they fix, it's going to come back to you again for testing. So this is going to be like a cyclical thing. So the steps which anything goes through is in the SDLC, software development life cycle. So in our course we'll be talking about that. Remember I told you the different phases of so you as a tester, again, will be you will be working here. Let's say this is testing, but when you test, and if you find something, so you're putting it back for your developers now, and so they have to recode it. But guess what? They would find that, hey, it's not a coding issue, it is the design issue. So it's going to go back into the design phase. So these are like different phases which you will learn when we get into our manual testing course. We'll be talking about these different phases. So coming back to the tool, you need to put things into this QC tool, quality center tool. This tool will be used by developers, will be used by testers, will be used by managers, will be used by anybody. So you need to, even though you are a manual tester, you need to master this quality center tool. Now, you will be a very good software engineer, right? After you learn all of these different tricks of the trade. But the real challenge is the job kind of like becomes boring, kind of like becomes repetitive. Because if you need to keep entering the data again and again every day and expect some results, find the bugs and then report it, I mean, you will become bored. And more than that, it will not be very efficient. So for something to be efficient, you can automate it, right? So after you work as a manual tester for a number of months to a number of years, you could get into what is called automated testing. So in automated testing, you have to use tools. So there are tools like QTP, and this is from Mercury originally, but was bought out by HP. And then there is an open source tool called Selenium. So you could be looking into QTP and you could be looking into Selenium. We do a complete in-depth training of QTP and Selenium and all that. So the bottom line here is you have to, first of all, get motivated, acquire the right skills, find a good resource or a training company or a mentor who could help you learn and master this skill. Now, when you're learning, my suggestion, my serious recommendation to you is please focus on what you are learning. Because there are so many things out there that if you do not have a proper path defined for you, then you would be looking at 100 different things, and then basically the focus, you will lose the focus. And once you lose the focus, then your confidence level is going to go down. So it is very critical to your learning that you have a defined path or structure, right? And then you focus on that. And then apart from just focusing on it, you have to, bottom line is, you have to incorporate this as a part of your life, part of my life for next, let's say, 60 days. So set a target, or set a goal, or set a deadline. Say that, okay, I'm gonna be focusing, and I'm gonna be building my confidence as I keep learning. So this process of like keep learning, you have to incorporate that as a part of your life for the next 60 days. The bottom line here is, what you learn, you have to practice, practice. Um, did I say practice? Yes, you have to practice. You have to practice. I would say that practice till exhaustion, right? Um, Now, I'm not saying that you should be practicing forever. Give yourself, let's say, 60 days, right? Which is 2 months. Each day, put in about 3 to 4 hours. I promise you, I'm almost coming very close to guaranteeing you this, that if you do that, right? There are a bandwagon of recruiters out there waiting for somebody like you to get you a job. Now, what we can do is, we can we at trainingraght.com, we can help you. We can help you to prepare. Now, we got, as I said, we have tons of courses. We have QA automated tools. We have .NET development. If you want to become a programmer or a developer, then you could be looking into this track. You could be getting into Microsoft SharePoint, which is one of the hottest things in the industry. So, whatever you intend to do, we recommend that you visit our website. Take a look into what we have. Our prices are very reasonable. We are not here to make money. The goal here is to get you to a point where I was struggling about like 20 years back, right? 15 years back, I was struggling, and then I wish I had some mentor at that time. So it was like a serious struggle for me to learn, and then eventually, now I can say the past 15 to 18 years I've been in the industry. I've been working with diversified technologies. So this can also happen with you. So I would suggest that go take a look into these courses which we are offering, and depending on what interests you, you could request for, let's say, you could look into when we are starting the next course. Give us a call or write to us. On this class dates, you would have the next course which we are starting would be listed here. If you want to try before you buy, we understand that, and for that, just make a request. Just go in here and enter your name, email address, and just give a brief description of the course which you are interested in, and then we'll send you a link to attend that online course. So what we do is, basically we do training in different areas. We do software automation, software manual testing, automation tools, and we also do Microsoft.NET, C Sharp, ASP.NET, VB.NET, and then we take you also into SharePoint development. So if this generates any interest in you, then I would say give us a call. We are trainingraght.com. We are at 732-998-6650. You could write to sales@trainingraght.com, and we hope and we wish all the best in your journey of acquiring the right skills for that dream job, which is waiting for you. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you watching this presentation, and we hope that you would come back again next time for another presentation from us. Thank you, folks.